Welcome back, and today we're playing out the C-3604 in the German tech tree. Now, it is an attacker, it has a lot of armament, it turns pretty decently, and it gets an airspawn. And you know what that means? You don't get a functional engine. And the airspawn really isn't enough to offset the energy that you will lack throughout the entirety of the game. It's only an attacker spawn, you spawn at about 1 kilometer. You can tell if you climb straight in at about 290 to 300 kilometers an hour. IES that is. You will end up at about co-elt. Now sometimes you end up just above them, sometimes you'll be just below them. It depends on the map a little bit, and it depends on the enemy planes as well as your BR, as per usual of course. So the main killing power of this plane is going to be at the start of the game. You're just going to send yourself in there and try to disrupt the enemy as much as you can. It's really not that difficult. You climb straight in, you go for the head-ons, and you just try to take as many people down with you as you possibly can. Now if you survive this stage of the match, you can actually try to be a bit of a support fighter, but your only strength really is the very start of the match. And then later on, you can kind of 1v1 people. 2v1s, 3v1s are virtually impossible. This thing is terribly slow. It doesn't have a functional engine after all, and it's about as aerodynamic as a cow. Luckily, it doesn't look like one. It does look pretty decent. That's one of the perks, I guess. I'm just not a big fan of the red wingtip. But yeah, it's slow, it's an attacker, you don't have to expect much from it, but luckily most people don't really know how to fight it yet. And the flaps and the turn rate are actually pretty damn respectable, and I'll show you more of that in a little bit. Go ahead on with the I-16, clap him out of the air, and then we have the J-22 as well as the B-239 on our 6, as well as an A-39 and an LA-5, A-36 that is. 3 of them break off, which leaves us with the B-239. But he is also going to kind of do something weird. He's going to dive. He thinks he's a jet, I think. He's not going to store the energy in his balls properly this way. And he's actually going to lose a bit of his energy. And now I am going to climb away. Now that would happen if I was in a functional plane. Except I'm not. I'm just trying to drag him away for a little bit longer in case the J-22 or the LA-5 changes his mind. And then the second I see that Buffalo break off, I'm going to give chase. I want to 1v1 him, and I don't want him to run away. So if I turn around instantly, there's a chance that he's going to meet my head-on, and we might actually merge into a little bit of a dogfight. Now the B-239 is going to absolutely rinse me. No chance in hell I'm winning this fight, but I'm slightly above him. He's not awfully quick. He's climbing away from me. We're both going about the same velocity, and he starts to turn in. He's still below me, and he needs to pitch up slightly so I can pick up a little bit of extra speed, and he is losing a bit of speed, meaning that I merge at a slight energy advantage. Now this is going to last me a whole ass of 1 turn, so I merge, I try to dodge his 50 cals, and we just go straight up. Now I did hit his engine, but I'm not sure if it actually did anything or just destroyed his cooling. I doubt it did any damage. He's still pitching up very easily, and even with the small energy advantage at this low BR, he's gonna pitch up straight after me. Luckily, I have a tail gunner, and I put the 7.5 directly between his eyeballs. He goes back to the hangar, and we go back down to the deck. Now, luckily, that's where everyone is, so I can just kind of boom and zoom, but by the time I get here, the game is essentially over, and all we really get to do is go head on with the lonely J-22. The J-22 is a plane that I can actually win the 1v1 off. The issue is that it has a lot of guns, and those guns are incredibly powerful. Try to avoid the head-ons with these things, but if you can tell that you can get a little bit closer, I mean, I'm just still going to take it, because it's the end of the game. Next game, we are actually going to climb straight in yet again, and we meet the P-38G that didn't end up climbing properly. And I'm trying to shoot him down here, but I'm not really getting any damage in. It says severe damage. That guy is completely fine. And I probably pissed him off, so I'm expecting him to turn around for me. So I'm actually going to turn away and try to kill him right here. He takes another burst, and he is still not dead. So I'm just going to send it after him. I don't have the position anymore to go into the team anyway. So I'd rather just finish the kill right here and make sure that he actually doesn't make it back to his airfield. We pepper him a little bit. He's of course severe, so I don't need to damage him too much. I just need to make sure that he's actually dead. And my team comes in and licks him up. We get kill number 1, and we have to disengage. There is no feasible way in hell that I will stay in this area and survive the match. Now I just need to get out of here. I'm going to try to get a little bit of altitude, and I'm just going to see who wants to stick on me. Not everyone knows it's an attacker, but once people start to realize it is, They will start chasing you when you do this. Be careful when you play planes that are pretty bad. There's a lot of guys flying around that just want the free kills, and if they see you climbing to the side, they are probably going to go for you. Now we have the 2 Spitfires in the squadron over there who killed me the game before this. I couldn't do anything, I didn't record it, but they basically double teamed me. They staggered themselves, and there is literally zero chance I'm ever going to touch them. And I know they play that way, so I want to not go near them and just deal with the SB2C at least for now. This guy is catching me, and I can maybe run away. I'm not entirely sure which of these cows is actually quicker, but I'm not gonna wait for it. I do know that the SB2C also doesn't have a functional engine, turns pretty well and is terrible in the raid. So it's basically an equal type of matchup. I'm not sure which one would win. I think the SB2C has the better stall control and the better stall, and it's easier to aim, but I do think that overall this plane actually has some advantages, and if it's diving on me, the SB2C is 100% going to compress. So I'm going to let him dive on me, and I'm going to turn directly into the path that he's flying towards. And you can see that he instantly overshoot because he's going way too fast, and then I line it up and I managed to get a singular hit in. Now it doesn't do any damage, I think that was a 7.5, but it doesn't really matter. I'm on his 6, and once you're on the 6 of an SB2C, he's kind of like a fish out of water, or like a cow in water, I guess. It's a boat. But you can also tell that this thing is an absolute bitch to aim. The rudder is horrible, and it's not because it compresses, it's not because it doesn't respond. It's just incredibly floppy, and it's very annoying to get your guns on target, especially with the size of these wings. The roll plus rudder combination is brutal, and it will cost you matches because you just can't line up your guns. Don't forget that the guns are mostly in the wings as well as on the outer point of the wing. It's terrible when it comes to the convergence. You need to set up a convergence that you're comfortable with because it's very important in this thing. Luckily the spread is also very wide, so it's very easy to hit something, but if you don't actually kill them with the burst that you're firing, you're probably going to lose the matchup because this plane just doesn't have the staying power. Now here we have one of these Spitfires, and I know it's a Mark II because I did fight them the previous game, and I'm slightly above them. And as I said with the Buffalo, if you're slightly above them, they are climbing into you, you're diving into them, you actually have a bit of an advantage, and you can actually leverage it because the plane is good enough to actually win when it has an advantageous position. Spitfire is pitching into me, I'm going about 330. And I'm just gonna break up the loop a little bit, get a little bit of extra separation that makes it harder for him to hit me. We go vertical, we don't go straight up, we keep it somewhat horizontal, and we just wait for him to stall. Once he does, I'm gonna drop the flaps and pull straight in. Now here's one of the issues that I found. A lot of planes like this, when you drop the flaps, when you go about 300, 350, they will start pulling extremely hard. This plane doesn't do it. So I misjudged the firing angle there, I didn't manage to get it, but I'm still above him and I'm now able to dive on him. I know on the radar there's a guy coming in and I need to be wary of him, but I need to kill the Spitfire right here, otherwise my game is over. I can't touch this thing whatsoever, and you can tell that he's very easily maneuvering out of my nose. I'm just gonna pitch up after him. I'm gonna go into a little bit of a lag here and position myself for the firing solution right here, but he doesn't keep going up. And he actually starts going down, which is his biggest mistake, because otherwise his friend would have killed me right there. But now I'm able to stay on his 6 and just kind of spray him down. He's going to turn into the wrong direction, and you're going to again see the terrible rudder in action, together with the terrible convergence. But this time the stars aligned, and it managed to actually make me hit the shot. Before he comes in, not particularly scared of that thing. It might be faster and have a better engine, but I just turn so much better that if he doesn't run and leverage his energy, he is never going to be killing me. 50 cals are a little bit of a bitch, but I'm more scared of the Spitfire, that's why I went for him initially, but I noticed that the B40 will just be directly on my 6. We switch on targets, shoot him down, switch back over to the Spitfire, and I'm not able to line it up, because this thing is a bit of a floater. Now here my engine gets damaged slightly, and the Spitfire is on the 6 of the Yak 7. And he's just going to run away. Now I'm not really able to reel him in, I'm going about 420 kilometers an hour if I'm not damaged, and I'm very clearly damaged. So we need to go back to the runway just like he is, and then we start engaging the last 3 enemies that we have in the enemy team. Some BF-110s on the left, not really scared of them. We have the SB2C ground pounding directly below us. We have the Spitfire at an undisclosed location, and then the Leo also shows up. Now I know that I can kill these two guys right here, but we landed at about the same time and I'm not about to give the Spitfire a 20 km altitude advantage. But then I noticed that he's directly above me anyway. He decided to climb like he should. And it looks like I climbed a little bit earlier than him because he's not that far above me. And I decide to just ignore the two ground pounders and deal with the Spitfire on his own. But then I notice that the SB2C is definitely trying to chase me, even though he's below me and never going to be catching me. So I decide to just sacrifice all my altitude and energy to just gun down the SB2C anyway. I can wrap this up really quickly because there is just no way in hell he's going to get out of my guns. He's going way too slow, I have way too much position. I just keep it horizontal, I wait for him to kind of go slow. We then pitch in, we squeeze the trigger and we turn his plane into spare parts. Leo comes in, I think he wants to go for the dogfight here, so I decide to pitch into his direction. But the Spitfire is a bit closer than I would have liked, and now I'm actually locked in with him. He's behind me, he's going faster than me, but I am going 500 and my energy retention isn't terrible, so I'm actually able to somewhat deal with him. I turn in front of him, he is 100% going to overshoot, and he turns into the wrong direction yet again. This is not a winnable fight. You can tell that he's out-turning me completely, but if I keep on the pressure and he makes a mistake, it's very easy for me to gun him down because of all the guns that I have. He turns flat instead of up and I'm able to cut inside of his loop because I'm going so much slower. He ends up directly in front of me. The little damage that I did do there put him of course so much that he ends up directly in my face, and now I'm able to just absolutely implode his plane. And that is basically the C-3604. Back to the hangar and we go and collect our 7th kill, Mr. Leo 451. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next one.